I paid for my brother's entire wedding, every single dollar. The Sonoma Valley Vineyard Estate. $30,000 for the weekend alone. The 6-course dinner with Wagyu beef flown in from Japan. The champagne wall with their initials carved in gold leaf. The fireworks display that lit up half the valley. Even his custom Italian tuxedo. And when the guests asked who I was, he told them I was just the photographer. My name is Kathryn. I'm 34. I run luxe events in Los Angeles. High-end weddings for people with more money than sense. I've planned ceremonies for A-list actors, tech billionaires, Saudi princes. Once I organized a wedding where the bride wanted live peacocks as ring bearers. Another time a groom insisted on arriving by helicopter to his own backyard. But this wasn't about business. This was about Daniel, my baby brother, 7 years younger, the kid I taught to ride a bike, to tie his shoes, to stand up to bullies. I paid for his prom suit when our parents couldn't. His college textbooks. His first apartment deposit. When he graduated, I was the one cheering loudest in the crowd. When he met Kristen, I was the first person he called. Kathryn, he said, breathless with excitement. I think she's the one. I loved seeing him happy. The call came on a Tuesday morning. Kathryn, I need to ask you something huge. I was reviewing floral arrangements for a client's garden party. 300 white roses. Each one perfect. What's up? His voice cracked. Kristen and I want to get married. That's amazing, congratulations. A pause. Then, we want a wedding like the ones you plan, but we can't afford it, not even close. I set down my coffee. How much are we talking? We saved $12,000, but for what we want, it's not enough. $12,000. That was my typical floral budget. What exactly do you want? He painted a picture. Vineyard wedding, sunset ceremony, string quartet, gourmet dinner, open bar, dancing under the stars. The works. Daniel, I said gently, that's $60,000 minimum. Silence. Then I heard him crying. Actually crying. My little brother, the kid who never showed weakness. I just want to give her the perfect day, he whispered. She deserves everything. My heart broke. Let me handle it, I said. Everything, my gift to you both. Kathryn, no, I can't let you. You're not letting me do anything. I'm choosing to. No strings attached. He sobbed harder. You're the best sister in the world. I believed him. I threw myself into planning his wedding like it was my masterpiece. The venue, Bella Vista Estate. Rolling hills, century-old oak trees, views that made grown men weep. The menu chef Marcus from Le Bernardin flew him in special. The flowers, white peonies, and garden roses, imported from Holland. The music, a 12-piece orchestra, plus a jazz trio for cocktails. The cake, 5 tiers. Hand-painted sugar flowers, each one unique. I called in every favor, negotiated every price, supervised every detail. $68,000, not 60, 68. I didn't tell Daniel the final number. I also didn't mention that the retail value would have been double that. My professional relationships had made the impossible affordable. When he asked about costs, I waved him off. Don't worry about it. All I wanted was to be there. Not as a planner, as his sister. Of course, he said. Front row next to Mom and Dad. I bought a silver silk gown. Elegant, understated, sister of the groom appropriate. I was so excited. The morning of the wedding, I arrived early. Not to work, just to see everything come together. The vineyard looked like a fairy tale. White linens fluttering in the breeze. Crystal chandeliers hanging from oak branches. Rose petals scattered down the aisle. It was perfect. I stood there admiring the champagne wall I'd designed. Their initials intertwined in gold leaf. Each bottle positioned precisely. Excuse me. I turned. One of Kristen's bridesmaids, blonde, spray tan, too much highlighter. She looked me up and down. You must be the photographer. I blinked. I'm sorry. The photographer. You're early. Good. We'll need lots of getting ready shots. I laughed. No, I'm Kathryn, Daniel's sister. She looked confused. But you're not wearing a sash or anything. I glanced around. The bridesmaids all wore pink sashes. Bride Squad in gold letters. I didn't know I needed one. She shrugged. Well, do you know where the gift table is? 20 minutes later, another guest approached me. Are you with the catering staff? The shrimp puffs are running low. Then another, can you tell the DJ to turn down the music during cocktails? And another, is there a bathroom for vendors somewhere? I found Daniel getting ready in the bridal suite. Why does everyone think I'm staff? He was adjusting his tie. The Italian silk one I'd picked out. What do you mean? 3 people have asked me about catering. 2 wanted me to fix the music. Someone asked where the vendor bathroom is. He looked uncomfortable. I don't know. Maybe because you're involved with the planning. I'm your sister. I know that. Then why haven't you told anyone? He sat down heavily. Kristen thought, if people knew you planned everything, it would look like we couldn't afford our own wedding. The words hit me like ice water. You couldn't afford your own wedding. I know, but we didn't want to look. Charity case. I stared at him. This kid I'd raised, protected, sacrificed for. So instead, I look like hired help. It's not like that. It's exactly like that. He reached for my hand. Kathryn, please don't make this weird. It's my wedding day. I pulled away. Right. Your day, your vision, your pride. I walked out. The ceremony was beautiful. Of course it was. I'd planned it. The string quartet played Pachelbel's canon as the bridesmaids walked down the aisle. Pink dresses I'd selected. Bouquets I'd designed. Daniel stood at the altar in his perfect tuxedo. Beaming, Kristen appeared at the back of the aisle. Her dress was stunning. Vera Wang, another expense I'd covered. She looked like a princess. The guests gasped. Phones came out. Everyone wanted to capture the moment. I stood at the very back, behind the last row, where the staff usually watched. The officiant spoke about love, commitment, building a life together. Daniel and Kristen have created something beautiful here today, he said. A celebration that reflects their shared vision and values. Their shared vision, their values. I wanted to laugh, or scream, or walk out. Instead, I stayed silent. They exchanged vows. Daniel's voice broke when he promised to provide for and protect his new wife. The rings, white gold bands I'd selected from Tiffany. You may kiss the bride. Applause, cheers, rose petals thrown in the air. The photographer, the actual photographer, captured every moment. I slipped away during the celebration. Cocktail hour was on the terrace. Guests sipped champagne and nibbled on past hors d'oeuvres. Oysters Rockefeller, seared scallops, truffle arancini. I watched from the doorway as people complimented the couple on their exquisite taste. How did you find this place? One guest asked Kristen. We searched everywhere, she replied. Nothing felt right until we found Bella Vista. It spoke to us immediately. It spoke to my credit card immediately, I thought. Daniel was holding court near the champagne wall, telling the story of how he proposed. I wanted everything to be perfect for her, he said. She deserves the world. A guest raised his glass. Well, you certainly delivered. This is incredible. Thanks, man. We saved for 2 years to make it happen. 2 years, $12,000. I'd spent that much on flowers alone. I grabbed a champagne flute from a passing server. Drained it in one gulp. Time for dinner. The reception tent was transformed. Fairy lights twinkled overhead. White linens gleamed. Centerpieces of white peonies and candles created an ethereal glow. Each place setting cost more than most people's grocery budget. I was seated at table 9, with cousins I barely knew and family friends who'd forgotten my name. Not at the family table, not even close. The family table was for immediate family only apparently. Daniel and Kristen sat at the sweetheart table. A custom piece I'd commissioned from a local artisan. They looked so happy, so in love, so proud of their perfect day. Dinner was served, 7 courses instead of 6. The chef had added a surprise amuse-bouche. Oyster foam with caviar pearls. Every bite was perfection. Conversations flowed around me. Compliments about the food, the setting, the attention to detail. They have such sophisticated taste, someone said. Must have cost a fortune, another whispered. Worth every penny, though. This is how you do a wedding. I pushed my food around the plate. Appetite gone. Then came the toasts. Daniel stood up first, tapped his champagne flute with a silver knife. The room quieted. Thank you all for being here tonight. Kristen and I are overwhelmed by your love and support. Applause. We have so many people to thank. Our parents for teaching us about love and commitment. More applause. His parents beamed. Our wedding party for standing by us through everything. The bridesmaids and groomsmen cheered, and all the amazing vendors who made this day possible. Marcus, our incredible chef. Chef Marcus raised his glass from the kitchen doorway. Isabella, our florist who created these stunning arrangements. Isabella smiled from her table near the back. David, our photographer who's capturing every precious moment. David nodded from behind his camera. And everyone else who helped make our dream come true. We couldn't have done this without you. A toast, glasses raised, smiles all around. He sat down without mentioning me. Not once. My name never crossed his lips. Then Kristen stood up. I just want to say how grateful I am to have found my person. Daniel is everything I ever dreamed of and more. Awes from the crowd. And I'm so proud of what we've built together. Every detail of this day reflects our love story. Our shared dreams. Our commitment to creating something beautiful together. She gestured around the tent. This isn't just a party. It's a reflection of who we are as a couple. Every choice was intentional. Every element was chosen with care. She paused dramatically. We may have stretched our budget to make this happen, but it was worth it. Because this is exactly what we envisioned when we got engaged. The crowd erupted, standing ovation. I stayed seated, staring at my untouched plate. Kristen continued, so thank you for celebrating with us, for witnessing the beginning of our next chapter, for being part of our perfect day. Another toast, more applause. I excused myself to the bathroom. I stared at myself in the mirror. Silver silk gown, professional makeup, diamond earrings. I looked like a guest at a high-end wedding, which I was apparently. Just a guest, nothing more. My phone buzzed. A text from a client about her upcoming anniversary party. Work, my real life, my actual identity. Not sister, not family, not the person who made this fairy tale possible. Just Kathryn, event planner, hired help. I walked back to the reception. The dancing had started. Daniel and Kristen swayed to their first dance. At Last, by Etta James. They looked perfect together, young, beautiful, in love. The photographer circled them like a shark, capturing every angle. These photos would be gorgeous, frame-worthy, legacy images. I slipped out during the father-daughter dance. No goodbyes, no congratulations, no scene. Just a quiet exit through the kitchen. The Uber driver was chatty. Big wedding tonight? Apparently. You look nice. Good time. I watched the vineyard lights fade behind us. Something like that. I checked into the Four Seasons in San Francisco, ordered room service, opened a bottle of wine from the minibar, sat on the balcony overlooking the city lights. My phone kept buzzing. Texts from the wedding, photos of the cake cutting, the bouquet toss, the sparkler send-off. Everyone looked so happy, so grateful, so blessed. I turned off my phone, took a long bath, hot water and lavender bath salts, Tomorrow I deal with tomorrow. Tonight I just wanted to disappear. Monday morning I called my accountant. Janet, I need to reverse some payments. Which ones? Bella Vista Estate. The wedding this weekend. The Daniel Peterson wedding, your brother. That's the one. A pause. Kathryn, that's $68,000. I'm aware. Are you sure about this? I was staring out my office window, LA traffic crawling below. Reverse everything that hasn't been fully settled. The venue balance, catering overages, equipment rentals, floral delivery fees. That's about $30,000. Perfect, Kathryn. Do it, Janet. She sighed. It'll take a few days to process. That's fine. I hung up and went back to work. Real work. Paying clients who appreciated my services. Who knew exactly who I was and what I did for them. Wednesday afternoon, my phone rang. Daniel panicked. Kathryn, I need your help. With what? The venue called. They say we owe money. A lot of money. They're threatening collections. I leaned back in my chair. How much? $27,000. For additional services or something. I don't understand. You said everything was covered. Everything was covered, past tense. Silence. What does that mean? It means I uncovered it. You what? I spoke slowly. Clearly. I reversed the payments for services rendered to people who didn't want to acknowledge the service provider. Are you insane? This will ruin my credit. Your credit, I thought this was your shared vision. Your joint financial responsibility. Kathryn, please don't do this. It's my honeymoon next week. Enjoy Bali. I hear it's beautiful this time of year. I hung up. He called back immediately. I sent it to voicemail. Then again, voicemail. Then Kristen called. Voicemail. Then his parents. I answered that one. Kathryn, honey, what's going on? Daniel is beside himself. Hi, Mrs. Peterson. How was the wedding? It was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. But Daniel says there's some mix-up with payments. No mix-up. I paid for a family celebration. Turns out I funded a business networking event instead. Confusion in her voice. I don't understand. Ask Daniel. He'll explain. Or maybe Kristen can. It was their shared vision after all. Thursday morning brought an email. From Kristen. Subject, extremely disappointed. Kathryn, I can't believe you would do this to us. On our honeymoon week, no less. This is so immature and unprofessional. Daniel is having panic attacks. We had to cancel our trip to Bali because we can't afford it now. We're looking at taking out a loan just to pay the venue. I thought you were family. Family doesn't abandon each other over hurt feelings. You're being vindictive and cruel. Over what? Because we didn't make a big enough deal about your help. We were trying to be gracious. Not everyone needs constant praise and recognition. If you don't fix this, you'll have destroyed our marriage before it even started. Is that what you want? I hope you're happy. Kristen. I read it twice. Then forwarded it to my assistant. File this under inspiration, I wrote. Friday I had lunch with my friend Sarah, another event planner. We'd worked together for years. You look different, she said over salads. Good different. Like you've had a revelation. Maybe I have. Care to share? I told her about the wedding, the whole story. Her jaw dropped. He said you were the photographer. To multiple people, repeatedly. And they never corrected anyone. Nope, easier that way. Less embarrassing. Sarah shook her head. Unbelievable, what are you going to do? I smiled. I'm going to get professional. Meaning, I'm launching a new service tier. I pulled out my laptop. Showed her the mock-up I'd been working on. Ghost sponsorship, she read. For clients who want luxury weddings but can't stomach the humility of being helped. This is brilliant! The tagline writes itself, we give you everything. No one ever has to know. Sarah laughed. You're evil. I love it. It's not evil. It's honest. Some people want help. Others want miracles. This is for the miracle crowd. How much? Double my normal rate, plus a confidentiality premium. People will pay that. People will pay anything to maintain their image. I closed the laptop. Daniel taught me something valuable. There's a market for invisible generosity. Are you going to tell him about this? I shrugged. He'll find out eventually. The Ghost sponsorship page went live Monday morning. By Wednesday, it had been shared 3,000 times. Articles in wedding blogs, features in lifestyle magazines, a segment on morning television. The most elegant middle finger in the wedding industry. One blogger wrote, "My phone rang constantly. Clients, reporters, comedians wanting to riff on the concept. I booked 6 Ghost sponsorship weddings in the first week, all at triple my normal rate." Sarah called laughing. "You've created a monster. I've created a market." Same thing. The best part. Every client understood exactly what they were buying. Luxury, perfection, anonymity, no awkward thank you speeches, no family obligations, no emotional complications. Just pure professional excellence. Some people wanted credit, others wanted results. I was happy to provide both, for the right price. 2 weeks later, I got a call from an unknown number. "Is this Kathryn Mitchell from Lux Events?" Speaking. "My name is Victoria Ashworth. I'm planning my daughter's wedding. I understand you offer discretionary services." I smiled. "Ghost sponsorship, yes." "Perfect. We need to discuss terms." Another client. Another perfect invisible celebration. Daniel never called back. His parents stopped reaching out after the second week. My mother left one voicemail. "Honey, I don't understand what happened, but maybe you could all sit down and talk." I deleted it. Some conversations weren't worth having. Some bridges weren't worth rebuilding. Some people show you exactly who they are when given the chance. I believed them. 3 months later, I was at a client meeting, planning a tech executive's wedding. 200 guests. Napa Valley. No budget constraints. My phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. "Saw your new business model. Clever. Hope you're happy. D." I stared at the message for a long moment, then deleted it. Turned back to my client. "Now about the centerpieces. Some stories end with reconciliation. Others end with evolution. I'd evolved. From sister to stranger. From family to professional. From invisible to essential. The wedding industry is built on dreams. But dreams I'd learned come at different prices. Some you pay with money, others with dignity, and some you pay with truth. I'd found my niche in the space between dreams and reality, where people wanted magic without miracles, perfection without credit, love without acknowledgement. It was a strange place to build a business, but it was mine, and business was booming.